Hey guys, what's going on, and welcome to week 19 of my fat loss vlog. This week my measurements were the same as last week, except my legs were down 1 more centimeter. Overall though, for the past month or so I've been kinda stuck in a rut in terms of visual changes. There are certain thresholds where the visual changes become clear and I'm just kinda waiting for the next one. But I know it's coming eventually. Average calories were reasonable, 2,892, I lost 0.6 kilos of weight and total weight loss is now 12.2 kilos, the highest I've ever done in a single cut. Something I have noticed over the past few weeks is that I'm starting to look way more lean in the relaxed standing position, and the side comparison is more and more hilarious every week. It's starting to look like I've lost almost half of myself. And finally, this week's average daily step count was just about 16,000. This cut is now the longest one I've ever done, by several weeks, and also the one where I've lost the most total weight. I'm gonna list some things that have helped in achieving this, starting with the most important ones and then becoming a bit murkier as the list goes on and on. Number 1, and this is the cornerstone of everything that comes afterwards, high level of activity. Activity keeps me busy, it gives me concrete targets to hit outside of the gym, and most important of all, it allows me to eat more. Also, having lived in 3 different places over the course of the summer has definitely made activity more interesting, particularly walking. Now, I said being active has allowed me to eat more, so I'm not gonna list eating more as a big booster for making this cut easier. I think it's kinda obvious. However, eating what I enjoy has definitely been a big thing, and that is number 2. I've been eating pretty much the exact same foods I would eat if I was bulking or maintaining my weight. I've simply been more active, and depending on the day, I've either reduced some of my portion sizes slightly or reduced the number of meals I've had that day, or some combination of both. It really isn't that difficult to create a 700 to 800 calorie deficit. You simply walk an hour extra every day and you make one of your 3 or 4 meals slightly smaller. Number 3, moderate pace of weight loss. Sure, it can be really exciting and motivating to lose weight really fast and see noticeable results pretty much every week. But if you keep doing that for a long time, I assure you, your body will eventually kick you right in the balls and you will burn out. Also, if you're losing weight too slowly, maybe 1 kilo every month, it pretty much feels like nothing is happening despite you feeling like you're restricting yourself and being in the dieting mode. I feel like during this cut I've hit the sweet spot for myself, which is roughly 0.7 kilograms per week. It is usually advised to lose 0.5 to 1% of your body weight per week, and 0.7 kilos per week is roughly in the middle of that for me. Number 4, higher calorie days. Allowing myself to eat more on days where my appetite is considerably higher or where I'm way more active or where I just want to eat more for social reasons has helped a lot, while still making sure that I keep it under control over the long term, not allowing the high calorie days to sort of overtake the lower calorie days. Also, I'm really taking advantage of the days where my appetite is lower or where I'm really busy. So on higher calorie days, I might eat 3,500 calories, and on lower calorie days, I might sometimes go under 2,000. Also related to this, it's important to understand that it's not about individual days if you botch things up a little bit every now and then. It is about the long term. Number 5, keeping my training fresh. Making small changes into my program every 4 weeks or so has definitely reduced training staleness and has made it a lot more fun and interesting. When you're losing weight as a more advanced lifter, you are very unlikely to gain any muscle mass, and you are very unlikely to gain any strength either, because your leverages are getting worse, unless you start doing some lifts that you haven't done in a long time and getting technically more proficient at those. Now, the first 5 things that I just listed are definitely the ones that have made this whole process a lot more enjoyable. And when you enjoy the process, you want to keep doing it, rather than looking forward to all of it being over as soon as possible. The next 5 things I'm gonna list are ones that are way more specific to me as an individual, but still probably ones that you will be able to take something away from for yourself as well. My camera ran out of battery, so I put it onto the charger, went out for a walk, more steps for me, yay. I came back home and the fucking thing hadn't charged up at all. It sometimes does that. My own fault for not checking that the red light was on, but the problem has since been taken care of. I haven't eaten in 9 hours. I am hungry. I am angry. Angry. Let's continue. Number 6. Tracking and measurements. When you see the numbers go down, you know shit's working. So it reinforces trust in the process, and I, at least personally, really love comparing my numbers and pictures and so on with my past self. It's really interesting and fun to me. Number 7. Timing, and in my case specifically, seasonal timing. When I started the cut, for the first couple months it was winter. Not really a time where I enjoy going outside and being active, so I couldn't really go into the weight loss quote-unquote full force. But anyone can cut for 2 months, not really a big deal. It allowed me to get used to the process, relearn the habits and behaviors, and then spring hit, kind of feeling like a fresh new start. So it kind of feels like this cut has been in 2 different phases. A winter phase and then a summer phase. And it doesn't really feel like it's been almost 20 weeks. Point being, whether it's seasons of the year, or sport seasons, or a time when you're gonna have a temporary job where you know you're gonna be really active, take advantage of that and time your weight loss appropriately. Number 8. I really want to see the progress I've made in these past 4 years, and that really motivates me. Like I've been telling you throughout this vlog series, I haven't been lean in 4 years, so I don't really know how much muscle I have underneath this fat or what it looks like. I am kinda starting to get an idea now, but I still have several weeks to go until I can be sure and make accurate comparisons to 4 years ago. I do know I've gained a bunch of muscle though, because if I compare my waist measurement from a few years ago at 90 centimeters to a few months ago at 90 centimeters at the start of this cut, my body weight was way higher at the latter, which is very indicative of muscle gain. Number 9, and this is kind of a big one, being a more mature lifter overall. First of all, in the past I've cut some of my weight loss phases a little bit short because I was in a hurry to start bulking again and gaining more muscle and strength, and not feeling so stale in my training. Now I'm not really in a hurry to do that. It takes about a year for me to gain 1 or 2 kilos of muscle, and I already have a bunch of muscle. I want to see what it looks like. I want to focus on feeling and looking good. I will have all the time in the world for the other stuff after this is done. Secondly, I'm also generally more patient, whether it comes to weight loss or muscle gain or strength gain, understanding that properly focusing on one goal at a time is way better than jumping between them based on your temporary wins and impulses. If you do that, you never get anywhere, and at the end of the day, we all want results. So you, who starts a bulking phase and then 2 weeks later feels like cutting, or starts a muscle building program and 2 weeks later starts feeling like I really want to do some low bar squats and deadlifts, fuck you. Thirdly, and this kind of ties together everything I've said so far, over time I've developed and sort of perfected my own weight loss habits and behaviors to make it easier over time, and I feel like on this cut I've put it all together better than ever before. Lastly, number 10, making these vlogs. Firstly, accountability is a part of it. I don't want to make this long video series that I put a lot of effort into and then kind of just give up on it midway through. I want to see through to the end and make it as good and complete as I can. But secondly, making these vlogs is really fun and rewarding. I want each entry to have some kind of an original message, and this is a good way to also practice making videos, being on camera, and explaining things. Obviously, this doesn't mean you should start making vlogs if you want to have a successful weight loss journey, but find some way to make yourself more accountable, and maybe even turn it into some kind of a project, if you feel like that might help you stay on track. Anyway, that's about all I had to say this week. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.